So we're here in the Kabbalah Center learning the system of the soul that will allow each and every one of us to achieve our potential. That's what we're really here for. And we have no concept of how big our potential is, literally. But we'll get some more insight this morning or this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are. So let's do as we do every week. We're going to start with our affirmation. Those of you who are online, you can join us. We're going to say it together. We want to keep reminding ourselves the truth so that voice of lying, that voice of falsehood, that voice of limitation won't get us. Together, consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And we'll see today another facet of how or why that's so essential. So essential. So let me ask you this. Those of you who live in a home, okay, just make sure it's all of you, live in a home, right? House, apartment, something, own, rent, lease, squat, something. Okay, so think about it. The sink backs up, right? You're washing your face in the sink, the water backs up. Do you just say, what the heck, who cares, that's the sink? Or do you make an effort to repair it? Call somebody, take care of it yourself, something, yes? You're sitting there and you're reading a book or you're watching television and boom, lights go out and the television goes off. The circuit breaker goes. Do you say the same thing? Who cares? Doesn't bother me. That's, down in the garage or the circuit breakers. I'm here in the living room. Or do you say to yourself, wait a second, it's affecting me. I can't watch TV. I can't read the book. I can't, do things. I'm washing the dishes even. Can't do it without the light. So do you go and take care of the short circuit? Fix the circuit breaker? Yes or yes? Or you call somebody, right? Somebody who knows how to do that. What about your body? Have you ever think you're in an important meeting, maybe you're a business person, and it's a big meeting, and you got all the chiefs are sitting there, and you're making this presentation. Could be the presentation of your life. And all of a sudden, as you're moving the papers along, you get a tiny little paper cut. You ever had a paper cut? At that moment, this important moment in your life, a little paper cut, how much of you is involved with that paper cut? In that moment, your whole focus goes to the pain you're feeling. The meeting disappears, the people disappear, everything else disappears, and suddenly the only thing you can think about is that paper cut and what can you do to make it stop hurting? Yes or yes? Exactly. Is a toe a big deal? Right? Your baby toe, really, compared to all the rest of your body, is a big thing? Not really, okay. In fact, sometimes you think, who needs it? But boy, you bang your toe walking barefoot on a chair or the leg of your chair or something like that. How much of your body and you pay attention to the toe all of a sudden? It's like the toe saying, hey, you took me for granted. Granted, I'm an important part of you. Right? And at that point, we may think, okay, I'll grant you that. You may think, I wish I'd cut off that toe, 6 months ago. But when you're in rational thinking, you wouldn't say that. Oh, cut the toe because I could bang it. Why? Because you said, well, then the next toe would get banged. And you don't want to start cutting all the body parts so they don't bang each other. Right? So the point being, everything, there is nothing that's dispensable. Right? Oh, I don't care about this, don't care about that, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. I mean, a paper cut, really, compared to some of the other cuts you may have had, not a big deal. But boy, does it hurt, that tiny little paper cut. So your whole focus goes from the big picture, your meeting or whatever else you were doing, into that little piece right there. The little paper cut or the banged toe or the sink that's backed up or something like that. It doesn't have to be big major flood, but every little thing, if it's your house, you pay attention to. You don't just dismiss it and, who cares, and well, big deal. I got something else to replace that. I have another sink. Maybe you do have another sink. Maybe you have 2 or 3, but that sink that's backing up, you're going to go deal with it. So I want to share with you, and I hope it's not too deep, but I think you're ready for it, because if you've been watching this for a while. So from Rav Ashlag, the founder of the center, And it is our 100-year anniversary. So Rav Ashlag started us 100 years ago to do what? Bring this wisdom of Kabbalah to the entire world. Bring all the tools that we have, the Zohar, the Ana B'Koach, all the 72, everything. All the connections we can make, the spiritual understanding. He wanted to bring it to the world. In his time, he was unable. People would literally beat him up for teaching anybody else. Rab Brandwein, his disciple, the same thing. It really came down about 50 years ago to the Rav and Karen Berg, if you don't know them, that's them, that they brought this literally to the masses. Like I said here, just a spiritual Sunday all over the world, right? I heard yesterday, Michael and Monica Berg's Spiritual Hungry broadcast, their podcast, goes to over 200,000 people a month. So this wisdom that started less than about 100 years ago with 2-3 people is now literally spread everywhere on earth, spiritually affecting 8 billion people, but 200,000 a month to watch their broadcast, to wake up to this wisdom. So Rav Ashlag writes like this. He says, how can a single individual have influence on the entire world? If you stop and think about it, we don't believe that. Really? How can you and me, right? And I don't know anyone here who's a politician, a major politician, or I hope maybe you are, just hidden, head of a multi-billion-dollar corporation or something like that, but at least not that I've known yet. If it is, talk to me after class, right? But how can we really how are we going to affect what's going on all over the world, in any part of the world, and any person? How can we have influence over all the heads of state? But that's what he's leading us to. And it should not surprise you that an individual can, through his own action, cause any rise or decline to the whole world. Every one of us have influence for good or, heaven forbid, the opposite on the entire world. It is immutable law, a law that never changes. You cannot run away from it. You cannot not believe in it. You cannot not disconnect from it. It is immutable law that the collective and the individual are equal to each other like 2 drops of water. And everything that applies to the collective also applies to the individual. Everything that applies to the collective also applies to the individual. That being said, it's actually the individuals who make the collective do what it does. I just want to let that sink in. The individuals who make the collective do what it does. So you and I are looking out in the world. We say, oh, look, over there, there's bad people doing terrible things. Over there, there's good people doing good things. Over there, this says, what can I do about it? Well, Rav Ashlag is waking us up to remind ourselves, and I want to make it more clear, we have power over everything in the world. We have power. And that's what my inspiration is for this morning. The Creator gave us a piece of itself. I mean, whatever level, if you're still holding if you're new to this and you're still holding some traditional idea, doesn't it say in the 5 books of Moses, God created us in its image and likeness? Now the thing as a child that always caught me by that, even back then, you're in a classroom with even 15 kids. We're all created in the image and likeness of God. So you look around, I say, well, we all don't look alike. So who's the real image and likeness of God? What does that mean? So it took me 20 years or so from that point to find Kabbalah to begin to understanding in great depth, as we're going to learn tonight, what that really means. Right? In simple terms, it means we have tremendous power. So I want to say we have the power of the Creator. Creation, that's why we call it the Creator. Creator creates. And the Creator creates. The Creator can create out of nothing. You and I have to create out of this world. But we'll see how important and powerful that is. The Creator gives us the power of transformation. Like you read in some of Michael Berg, or you hear Michael Berg saying, we have the power of the Creator. That means if we see somebody sick, we have the power. We haven't learned how to use it completely, but we have the power just to heal them right away. You see people with trouble in their life, discord in the family, trouble in a business. We have the power to, if you want to call it, zap them, to make their family start acting in a more harmonious way, to make their businesses working better, things like that. We have that power. Are we using it? Maybe tiny a little bit, but not to its fullest extent, because we don't believe. We don't believe we have the power because of that voice. If you're new to this, go back, take Kabbalah 1, study a little bit. There's a voice implanted in every one of our heads that sounds like us. My voice, we'll call it the opponent, or maybe we'll change it today. I used to call it also, when I first introduced it, the voice of the good habit and the bad habit, right? Because we have a voice on one side of our head, the good habit, and the voice of the bad habit on the other one. It's not us, it's an add-on, it's a parasite. But the example I always gave was, you're on a diet, you're doing really good on this diet, and your friends want to take you out to celebrate how good you've been, and you're real good, you order all the right foods and this, and then comes dessert. So the waiter or waitress brings to somebody else's table the dessert cart. And what does that voice of the bad habit tell you? There's the chocolate chip cookies. You've been so good on the diet, why not have one? No big deal, right? Taunting and tempting you. You have 2 more months to your commitment, but why not? It's been 4 months already, right? And then way back 20 miles away in your head, you got the voice of the good habit. It says, no. 2 more months, you've been doing so well. Have the fruit cup. Don't touch the chocolate chip cookie. And for most of us, which is the louder voice? Chocolate chip cookie, the voice of the bad habit. So mine sounds like my voice. That's the trap, because I always thought it was me till I came to the center. Yours, whatever your voice sounds like, that's what you hear in your head. So you grow accustomed to it. So you think, that's just me. I can't do this. I'm not able to do this. I'm good at these things and I've achieved this, but I can't do this other stuff. No, we have unlimited. The voice of the light, the voice of the good habit, that's our real voice. That's the voice of our soul. The other one is just there to taunt us, to give us a way to ultimately truly feel and experience sensationally all the good that the Creator's already given us. So let me give you another way of looking at it. When you walk around the world, you're driving here, and some of you came with friends or family, right? You're over there, you came from home, let's say you're driving here. While you're driving here, when you look around the world, whose world are you seeing? If you think about it, you're the center of your world. If I asked you now, stand up and just turn in a circle, the entire world of 8 billion people, who's the center of that world as you're turning in a circle? Say it. You, each of us. I'm the center of my world. You're the center of your world. Each person is the center of their world. So when the Kabbalists say we each are a world to ourselves, that's what they mean. Not in an ego. Yes, I'm so great and no. I can only live in my world because I define what's in my world. How many of you ever had a difference of opinion, especially these last maybe 10, 15 years, with one of your close, good, loved ones, a good friend, a family member? So you ever had any sort of discordant difference of opinion? But you're all looking at the same world. How can it be that way? How come they're not seeing what you're seeing? Because you're seeing through your eyes. You're filtering it through your own consciousness. You're filtering it through your own experience. So you define that person that you're both talking about. You say, that person, terrible, nasty. They're looking and say, are you talking about the same person I'm talking about? That person who's so kind and nice? And you're talking about the same person, but you're looking through your own eyes in your own world. So you define they're nasty or you define they're good. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked in the mirror and said, who's that stupid person? Made such a stupid mistake? Yes or yes? Nobody wants to admit it in front of us, right? Yeah, we all do. But we know why. Because we're defining ourselves. Why do we say that? Why do we take ourselves to task? Think about it really, but think about it deep. Don't just say, I made a mistake. That's not the reason. A lot of people out there making mistakes and they don't say, that was stupid and that was foolish. Because their parasite, the opponent in their head, give them 100% justification. So they don't think it was a bad thing. So why do you and I look in the mirror someday, that was a foolish mistake, and why did you do that, or how did you say that? Why? Because somewhere we've grown, somewhere we've come to be illuminated, enlightened, to be able to distinguish the reactive self-centered action versus the sharing, kind, light, godlike, light-like action we could have done. And because we can see the difference, then we can say, I made a mistake. If a person doesn't know how to spell T-H-E-T, they think it's the word that. So if they think that's how it's spelled, when they're writing it out, do they think they made a mistake? No, because that's how they believe it's spelled. You and I, because we know that's not the way it's spelled, we could look at, I made a mistake. Okay, go back, fix it like this. Is everyone getting it clear? So when you look at your world, you're defining it. And that's why I want you to hold that in mind the next time you're about to have some argument with somebody, or even a nice difference of opinion. At least stop for a minute and say, you know what? They're seeing from their eyes, I'm seeing from my eyes. So we could discuss it maybe, or maybe at the moment you say that, you know what? Let them have their opinion. What's the big deal? They have their opinion, I have mine. Let's just keep going. We'll still be harmonious. We'll still work together. We'll still be friends. But let's go forward harmoniously. Instead of what that opponent's making us do, the opponent in the one person's head saying, no, you got to prove you're right. And the opponent, the other person saying, no, you got to prove you're right. But you're looking at two different things. You think oranges are apples, and they think apples are oranges. So you're arguing because you're not seeing what they're seeing, and they're not seeing what you're seeing. We are worlds to ourselves. We're defining it. So think of somebody you defined as a negative person in any form. They did bad to you, said bad things, or you look in the world and say, how could they be doing that? They're causing such havoc in the world. And I don't care who you name. You named him or her, rename them. Rename them. But we've got to understand, everyone is defined by us. And like we said, if we hold the consciousness like attracts like, then in a group that's mixed, 50 good people who are acting good and 50 people not in the moment acting good, if we walk into that room of 100 people, if we had a little terrible day, we're a little upset, a little stressed out, which direction you think we're going to tend to go? Towards the 50 who are happy or the 50 who are also stressed out? Like will attract like. So we'll head towards the people who are stressed out, and then what will our opponent say? Look at this one and that one. We'll define them, we'll judge them, we'll say all kinds of things, or at least think it in our head. You walk in a good mood, a happy mood, right? Because something good happened, or you know what? Even there were challenges in the day, you just decided, I'm defining the challenges that happen, opportunity to grow, opportunity to learn, opportunity not to make the same mistakes. Then you're going to tend towards the people who are happy and joyous. Like will attract like. Even with you and me, here's a big question. Do you have anybody, has there been anybody, even in the last 6 months, let's say, that you know or they've told you they don't like you in some way or another? Has anybody said that to you, or you felt that from people? But yet, if you're here in this room or you're watching us, you got to be an amazing person. You got to be a good person. You got to be amazing. So how could somebody say you're not a good person? Because like we said a minute ago, I can see I made a mistake. I did something that wasn't always as good as I could do it. I didn't live into my potential in that moment. Okay, it's a mistake I correct, I can fix, and I can move forward. But in that moment, that person is seeing that. That's the part they're picking up on me. The part that made the mistake, that was a little impatient, a little judgmental, a little envious, a little whatever, right? They didn't see 5 minutes later when I overcame it, I fixed it, and I went forward. They see that snapshot. So maybe we're doing the same thing with those people. Maybe what your interaction was just a snapshot. Maybe they were just in a terribly bad mood, and you happen to be there at that time. So your snapshot said, bad person. But when you walked away because of what they said, 5 minutes later, they're having fun, they're talking to their friends, they're happy and joyous, right? They're deciding they don't want to stay with that mistake scarring them. They want to move forward, transform it, because didn't we say the Creator gave us the power of healing? The Creator gave us the power of transformation. The Creator gave us the power of creation. We decide. We decide. We've been given the power of the Creator. We are vessels. We are conduits of that light of the Creator, that power. So just like a garden hose or the fire hose, the fire people called to a burning something or other, they hook the hose up to the fire hydrant, they extend the hose. Who decides where the water goes? Does the water decide? Bless you. Does the hose by itself decide where? Who decides where that water goes? Is that really that much of a big question? The person who's holding the nozzle. If you're holding the nozzle, you're deciding where that water's going to go, because the water's coming out because it's a hydrant. The hose is letting the water come through. So who decides where, what direction that water is going? The person holding the nozzle. So in my life, who's holding the nozzle of the light of the Creator that's coming through me because I'm a conduit of light, as we all are? Who's deciding where that light goes? Me. And I'm deciding what flavor it is. Judgment, anger, guilt, greed, shame, ego, or love, kindness, forgiveness, tolerance, generosity, humility. I decide. You decide yours because you're in your own world. The light is shining on us like that water coming out of the hydrant. That's the power of the Creator. The Creator, if you want to say metaphorically, if you're new, don't take it literally, but metaphorically, the Creator had the light, said, I want to give the light to all my creation. And the light started flowing, period. It's been flowing eternally since. It doesn't stop. Where we see chaos doesn't mean the light's not there. It means we're in the moment blind to see it. Where there's discord, it's not that the light disappeared. If the light is infinite, where can it move to go away? You and I in the physical temporal world, we could go out of this building because we perceive there's a space outside the building. But if the light is infinite, it's everywhere. It can't move anywhere. So if we're not seeing, it's our limitation. It's not the light of the Creator. So here comes the key. And please take it in this consciousness. And if you have a question, if you have a Kabbalah teacher, call them and talk to them. If you don't, get one. Get one. We, each one of us, are the God, literally the God, the Creator of our own world. Period. Doesn't mean we are the God. The Creator gave us a piece of itself. I create my entire world. And my world is made up of 8 billion people. They don't all look like me. In fact, in my case, I don't have a twin, at least not that I've seen yet. So I have 8 billion unique individuals. Even here in this room, you're all part of my world. And I'm deciding who you are and what you are and how I decide what you mean to me. You follow? As you're looking around this room, you're doing the same thing. You're deciding. Everybody's a part of my world. I'm creating you. I've learned, thank God, 35 years in the center, to create you with more kindness, love, and compassion. Learn to see the light that's inside you. To see what God created, not what the mud and the dirt on the outside looks like, where we have a little jealousy or fear, ego, or something like that. No, that's the mud. That's not the real us. You know, in Israel, I was there a few years ago. People go to the Dead Sea. What's the big deal to go to the Dead Sea? You go in, you put all the mud all over you. So you walk out, people don't recognize you, right? Because you're all covered with mud. No, they look at you, they say, oh, that's Chaim, he's just covered in mud. So what do I do to be the Chaim they knew 5 minutes earlier? You wash it off. You wash it off. Now I'm back to the Chaim they knew. I hope inside I've changed, but at least on the outside, the same, right? That's what we've got to do. I am the God and I decide in my world what people are and who they are. I hope everyone's getting it. Not the God, but we've been given the power of the Creator to use in my world. So I have 8 billion people in my world. And therefore, like Rav Ashlag said, there is no difference between the individual and collective. If I'm creating my world of 8 billion people, like we said with the toe or with the sink, if I get that bang on my toe, I don't say, well, it's only 1 out of 8 billion, no biggie. No, my whole body hurts. My whole body's paying attention to that toe. What we want to learn today, deeper, because I'm sure we've all learned in some way, when there's a person in your life who now you understand is in your world and you've created them, in that moment as a nasty person, and the opponent awakening inside you, resentment, hurt, jealousy, greed, anger, something negative, no, stop and say, I'm recreating them, I'm transforming them. I'm deciding that they are manifesting the light, that they are a being of light. I decide, so that whatever they did on the outside has no impact on me. Because I want my world to still be harmonious. I want my world to still be peace and harmony. I want my world to be my piece of heaven on earth. I don't want discord in my world. And it's not up to you to decide for me. It's not up to anybody. World leaders, politicians, business people, nobody decides but me what my world looks like. That's me. You're the same thing. So you learn, if you didn't take it in a while, or you haven't taken it all, go online or come in the center, whatever you can do, take Kabbalah 1. 35 years I've been doing this, it's still for me the most powerful and ultimately deepest course there is. But unfortunately, the first time you take it, you think, okay, it's nice, changed my life, that's it. But I want to get to Kabbalah 2, 3, 5, 10, 26, 35. But by the time you get to Kabbalah 35, somebody here in the room, all right, we keep going back to Kabbalah 1. Because if you can't keep Kabbalah 1, the principles of why we're here in this world, our purpose, we're created, what it means to be created in the likeness of the Creator, what it means, that parasitic voice in our head, what it means, the whole methodology, how to do this transformation. Wouldn't you like to have the philosopher's stone that would turn lead to gold? How about if I gave you this Kabbalistic magic stone that would turn all the garbage in your life to gold? Would you like it? So when you give it Kabbalah 1, it's called the proactive method. That's the way to turn all your chaos into order, turn all your darkness into light, all your curses into blessings. But, and it is a big but, I'm going to hear about that one, you have to operate it. It doesn't operate by itself. Why? Because the Creator, creating us, gave us not only a piece of itself, free will. Free will. And isn't it interesting? When things are going good, I did it, it's all mine, wow, wonderful, right? As soon as something goes bad, God, why'd you do that to me? I don't understand it, right? That moment you want to give away your free will. The moment it's going well, oh, free will, look what I did. I chose, I acted, I made it that way. Can't have both. It's free will or it's not free will. So you have to decide, I don't want free will and the universe and everybody runs you, or you're going to run your own world. Let's just put it out there. There are people in this world, okay, that are generally called people pleasers. You and I, probably here and there, we do that. What does it really mean? We're looking at the 8 billion people in our world, or at least the 10, 15, 20, 100 that are sort of closer to us, like more often physically around us, and we just want to say yes. Whatever you want, whatever you want, whatever you want. Yes, 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 yes. It's not a sharing thing. If you didn't take Kabbalah 1, go back. You'll understand that's not a good thing to do for them or for you. But we all do that in some way. Oh, here, yes. I don't want you to think I'm not a nice person. I don't want them to think I'm not spiritual. I'm a Kabbalah teacher. They better really think I'm a Kabbalah teacher, so I can't say no. No, that's not true. Sometimes the best thing is to say no. You follow? But if you're a people pleaser, at some point, even you have 5 people in your life you want to say yes to. Try it. Try. See how long it's going to take until one says go left and one says go right. Now, which one are you going to listen to? Can't do both. We're not on that spiritual level yet. No. So let's take control. I'm the creator of my world, and there are 8 billion people in it. You're the creator of yours. You decide. So we want to just be guided by our soul's voice. We want to be guided by the voice of the Creator, the peace that's inside of us. What to do, how to do, that we will let the light of our potential, the light of the Creator shine out into the world so we have more blessings. Because if it stays inside, it will only cause stress. Yes, sounds contradictory, no? The power of the Creator that's implanted in us will cause us stress, pressure, anxiety, difficulty if we don't let it out. Because it's pushing on us to get out. It's our ego, fear, jealousy, greed, resentment that's causing the stress, not the light. The light wants to go out and bring us all the blessings, eternal blessings, more than we could even imagine. But it's all our hurt, resentment, just stick there, guilt and shame, that's holding the light in. No, I can't let the light out because of guilt, shame, fear, anger, resentment, whatever. So the light pushes. What stress? The light's pushing on it and we're trying to push back. That's where the stress comes from. Light has no stress. Light just wants to go out and give you everything. So start letting go. What I want to remind us, no difference between the collective and the individual, because I'm the creator of my 8 billion. You're the creator of yours. So don't look at them and say, how can they act that way towards that person? Such a mean, rotten, nasty person. They're being so kind. Don't mix your world with theirs. Not in that way. You want to mix it with another person? Be in harmony with each other. That's what the Rav and Karen did, particularly Karen, in creating Kabbalah centers. The Rav didn't have the inspiration to make a Kabbalah center. That's why they had to set him by the angel up with Karen. She was like the physical manifestation, and the Rav was drawing the light from the upper worlds. And together they made this, to bring people's worlds together. So what do we want to do? If you want to have 8 billion healthy, vital parts, again, which part of your body, you ever stood in a way or crossed your legs or something till it went asleep? Yes? And then you try and stand up and walk. Happened to me last week. Right? I got my leg, I'm talking to somebody, talking. You don't notice. Then you go to stand up and you're all wobbly because the leg doesn't stand up because you can't feel it. So think about it. If you've got 8 billion parts in your world that ideally can be channeling light to you for physical, spiritual, mental, emotional health and vitality, which one do you want not to work? Which one? Which one you're going to leave covered in mud and all the dirt and all the negativity? Which one? None. But we've done it already. All of us. There are people out there we're still holding some blockage towards, some resentment, some whatever. No, so we got to start turning it around. How do you do it? And I'm only sharing you the metaphor that works for me. If you have a different one, whatever will work to help and support you and motivate you and enthuse you to do the work that we're about to talk about, whatever the picture is that works, use it. It's not fixed and set. We all in that way have our individual imagination, visions, etc. But for me, because I used to play sports, and I'll tell you a story. I used to play tennis, high school. And I always wanted to play singles. Didn't like playing doubles. Okay. Fast forward 20 some odd years. I'm in the center, the Rav and Karen, and the Rav and Karen encouraging me. You know, like I'm about to tell you, you got to work together. Everyone's got to be unified. Everything is unity, 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 unity. And I think it was Karen, however she picked it up. Maybe I told her at some point in the beginning. She says, you know how you always played singles and you didn't like to play double? Because it was hard for you to work as a team. So I realized that's what we have to do. And so for me, the metaphor in my mind, every human being, yes, I could say in my 8 billion people world, everybody is my teammate. They're not against me. So just like in a baseball team, I played Little League baseball, played high school tennis, Little League baseball. So when I'm playing baseball and you got 9 guys on the field, your team against the opponent, and one is not playing so well, do you just say, you're nasty, you're stupid, what's wrong with you, and start lambasting? No, I say, I've seen you in practice. You want to awaken them, basically heal them into their potential. So the same thing, think of people you have right now animosity towards. And I don't care what the reasons, you could tell me all the justification. But in your world, there's no justification because it's now blocking. It's like your legs being asleep and you're about to go into a competition where you got to run. You don't want to wobble a little bit. Imagine you got a 100-yard dash. And because you're resentful, you're going to let your leg wobble even if it's for 2 seconds. 100-yard dash, the record, I know, is under 10 seconds. You're behind 2 seconds, forget it. The race is already over before you start. You want it to be healthy and vital. So instead of lambasting them, think, that's my teammate. There's no, could you imagine, could God really create? Whatever you conceive God to be, God is pure and perfect. You could actually conceive that it could create an evil person, a bad person? No, like we learn, I am a pure and perfect being of light, because that's who my real nature is, the light of God. I'm covered with some mud. I'd like to tell you I'm pure and perfect externally, but I'm getting there. Not quite there yet, but we all have some of that mud. So I want people to help inspire me and support me to take more of my mud off. We all are, but let my godlike superhero shine out, right? Take off Clark Kent's clothes, right? So that Superman shows up. That's us. You watch it, oh, Superman. Now I think I'm dating myself, right? Faster than a speeding bullet, right? More powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, right? That's us. Do you think you can do that? Can you levitate? Can you teleport? Can you walk through walls? Yeah, I hear it already. No, this guy's really now going far out. This Kabbalah stuff, they used to say Kabbalah will make you crazy. It must be true. No, we have the ability. We're just so blocked and caught up, even scientifically. Let me ask you a simple question. Any of you knows a little science? And if you don't believe me, go ask. If you were to condense a human body, take all the water and the space out, you know how big we are? Basically 1% of our volume is actual physical matter. So what about the wall? The wall, there's 99% empty space. Our hand is 99% empty space. Why can't we put our hand through the wall? Can I do this? I hope you're seeing it. You see it? I can move my hand through the air. How come I can't move my hand through the wall? Not because the wall's not empty space. It is empty space. My brain, with the help of the opponent, says, Chaim, the wall is solid. Your hand is solid. They don't go through each other. And yet, you got great Kabbalists. You have all kinds of stories. Do people do those things? And then we say, it's just a story. Especially if it's a Bible story. Oh, Bible. Who believes the Bible anymore? Right? Even Kabbalah says you don't only take it on the literal level, so it must not be. No, it's also literal, but not only on the literal level. They were teaching us how to walk through walls. They were teaching us how to turn chaos into harmony and order. But we have to learn what their technology was. That's what we're teaching in the center. Here's what Abraham used to teleport himself. Here's what Moses used to go up in the upper worlds and bring down the 2 tablets. Let's just call them that. Out of the ethers. To manifest something out of nothing. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar. One time you read the story. I know we're all going to go, really? Teach me that. First you have to be on his level. One of his students, he could see one of his students was starting to lose his consciousness of spirituality. Starting to be more in the material world. Wanted the car, the house, the money, this, that, and the other thing. So Rabbi Shimon just looked at a little valley. He said, here, fill the valley with gold coins. I don't care if it's an anthole. Even an anthole of gold coins, whoo, that's a lot, no less a valley. He says, if that's what you're seeking, go. But if you understand the value of the light is worth a zillion times more than that. And it will bring you more good, true good. Whatever you think $1 million or $1 billion will do for you, the light can do it forever. The $1 billion are good for 5 minutes. And then you're going to be on to the next, and the next, and the next. So we have that capability. So those people have to be on our team. Heal them. You have the power to zap them with healing. Don't now look and say, oh, I zapped them, they didn't change, so I don't have it. No! You zap their heart and soul. They're beginning to change already, just because you don't see it. You put a seed in the ground, does it show up the next day? No, you keep watering it and nourishing it. Plants, I think, are 90 days, trees are 3 years, things like that. You just keep going. But every time you're zapping it, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. Because I want them to be healthy and vital on my side. On my side. We have only one opponent. The only one opponent of all humanity. There's no, I have my opponent, you have yours. Yes, I have a piece of it. But there's only one. That force of ego, that force of selfishness that has its finger in the head of those 8 billion people. Your 8 billion and my 8 billion. Everybody's 8 billion. So when you zap them with light and you awaken the light, the darkness goes out. It's like you're pushing out, right? You're pushing out. that piece of that opponent, so it has less and less effect on those people. Meanwhile, if that's what you're channeling, guess what you're getting? Your opponent going away faster and faster. Oh yes, one thing just to be aware of, the more you're pushing it out, the harder it will fight to stay. So expect a fight. It's not just going to be thrown out easily. It's going to try and hold. You just keep going. Light will always remove darkness. Light will always transform darkness. The power of the Creator in you will always transform it. You just have to keep going and never give up. Never give up. Does it happen? Yeah, it's happened. So I'll tell you one story because the end of it, the angel of chaos, the angel of death, whichever name you want to call it, that's our only opponent. That's our only enemy, not any other person. That person did what they did because they were being controlled by their piece of the angel of death, the angel of chaos. Death is not only physical death. If a person had a big business, it goes away, that's a death. Person had what they thought was a good relationship and it disappears, that's a death. Person has peace of mind and then suddenly they lost it because of what the news goes on, that's a death. Death is not only that final piece where the soul leaves the body. We die thousands of deaths probably every day. That's our enemy. So there's a story in the Zohar, and again, you don't have to believe it. That's up to you. But don't just dismiss it because right now you don't think it's possible. One of Rabbi Shimon's students was coming to him, and the Kabbalists teach 30 days before a person leaves the world, their spiritual energy, the spiritual energy of their soul called the shadow starts to disappear. So his student was on such a level, he could see his shadow disappearing. So he goes to Rabbi Shimon and he's a little, downtrodden. Rabbi Shimon says, what's the matter? He says, well, he sees his shadow going, this and this. So Rabbi Shimon holds him and he could see the angel of death dancing around his student. And he says, come into my house. And then he looks out and he says, who does not belong in my house cannot come in. And the Zohar says he held that student for 22 years until Rabbi Shimon decided he was leaving. Then he took his student with him. 22 years. He had the power to remove death. What do we have today? Ooh, this. This is what Rabbi Shimon left us. The energy of Rabbi Shimon, Moses, Abraham the patriarch, all the great patriarchs, Moses, they're here. They're in this. This is what he left for us. That's why this is the power of immortality. This is a power to do the same. If Moses could do it, if Rabbi Shimon could do it, we can do it. We may not do what they did, but we can do the same thing. They have immortality, we can have immortality. They were able to change people and help people, freedom from bondage and all those things. We can do the same thing. In fact, you've already done it. I guarantee there's not one of you in this room or watching us who hasn't already in some way, shape, or form redeemed a friend, somebody from their chaos. We just don't think it's like the Exodus of Egypt. But it is, because it's in my world of 8 billion. It's in your world of 8 billion. Story just happened last week. A very close student in the Toronto Center. Now I hear all the stories. I didn't know him, but I know him through people. He died of a heart attack Thursday night, Friday. So because I have friends up there, I start to hear the stories. Everybody crying, everybody, the worst thing ever happened, like this and this and this. Until I started to hear from so many people, I was having a conversation with those people there. I said, number one, death is not death. And they all know it from what they learn in the center. The soul still lives on, the real essence of the person, etc. Yes, we can feel bad that they've left. But what I started to notice, and maybe because I'm a little on the outside of that group per se, but everyone, a dozen people at least were telling me how much it impacted them. I said, this person, as we said, the soul knows it's going to leave. In his case, I truly believe he had some conscious sense it was his time to go. But his whole life was really just to be an angel to this community, the Toronto community, because he literally came and impacted every single person there. And even the way he left was waking these people up. What more can we do? How can we have more compassion? How can we speed up the process, as we're talking about today? To heal all of our teammates, get rid of the angel of death, then nobody has to die. If we get rid of the angel of death, then there's no death. But again, I can already hear it. One of the associates, one of the pawns of the angel of death in our head is say, oh, you can't get rid of death. The only thing that's for sure, death and taxes. Now taxes is a question, but death, oh no, death is for sure, right? No, death is not for sure. If God is immortal, we're immortal, even in the body. Don't let yourself believe, yes, we're all immortal. When the soul goes, it's immortal. No, we have the ability to live another 1,200 years in this physical body, in this physical world. Happy, healthy, joyous, peaceful. It's there. That's the part. You have no idea how powerful you are. No idea. When you think of Moses or you think of these people, whoever your great sages are, who did miraculous things, you have that same power. They're not, quote, special. They're not the exception to the rule. I don't care who you think. Nobody's the exception to the rule, not for good or for bad. Everybody is the rule. But like anything else, I have my piece, you have your piece. Every part of my body has its unique function. The liver doesn't have the same function as the kidneys. The kidneys don't have the same function as the spleen. They all have the unique function, but they all got to be together. If they're not working harmoniously, it's not going to exist. The body will start to disintegrate, and that's the end. And then the angel of death will come in and take the soul out of the body. But if we leave no space for it, it has no space. So for me, yes, you could say Rabbi Shimon and this, but again, that's 2,000 years ago, maybe for some people hard to believe. But this guy was just last week. And when he left people better off. And I truly could feel from these people, just because some of the people I knew, the way they responded to his leaving, you know that he only came to touch their heart and soul. That's it. So it's up to us. We have the blessing of learning this. We have the blessing of all the tools we have here. The most important, this. If you don't have one of these, whether the pocket size, the sacred, the set, I don't care which one, but make sure you have one at least in your house and at least in your car, carrying it with you. Even if it's just this one. This one, pocket size, have it. It's not worth not spending the $10 for this to not be protected, even if you're not sure. It's worth a $10 investment. You buy 2 cups of coffee, sometimes one, it's $10, right? 5 minutes, you enjoy, great, wonderful, and then it's gone. This is eternal. Eternal. So don't let your opponent say, $10, it's a really good. No, so who cares? Make it a donation. It's a donation to the center, that $10, and you get the book. Okay, you buy the book if you want to consider it that way, but have it with you. Have it with you. It is that important. So let's make the effort. If we start to make the effort ourselves, scanning the Zohar, channeling that bright, shining light of the Creator to every single person in your world of 8 billion people. Activate the brighter light in every heart and soul that's in your world of 8 billion people. Ensure that the light radiates so brightly in your world that there's no room for darkness. There's no room for the angel of death. There's no room for discord. That the angel of chaos has to leave your world. It cannot exist where there's bright, full light, so that you will experience your piece of heaven. And then, when enough of us, which is the purpose of the center, unite our worlds, we unify our worlds together, then the words of the prophets and the great sages will be manifest. The death will be swallowed up, and peace and love and unity will exist, and the world will all be able to see it, live it, and experience the world of heaven on earth. God bless. So as we do every week, and I did get the numbers this week, because now is the time we do our offering. It's a free will offering. You're helping to support us in all the projects of the center to achieve our goal. Oh, let me just post it here. To remove the angel of chaos, the angel of death, whatever name you want to give it. Hello. Oh, okay, give me 1 second, sorry. Copy. Paste. Just so it's there. There we go. So I got the numbers. From January to August this year, 21,722 scholarships have been given out to people who wanted to be the one house membership, that they could be learning this online wherever they are in the world, taking the classes they couldn't afford, especially these last few years. A lot of people were affected financially by COVID. In 2021, Over 81,000 Zohars were given out for free through the Zohar Project, through your donations. And it literally says in the Zohar, the only way to remove the angel of death with mercy is the book of the Zohar, because it channels the infinite light of the Creator, which is life. And if there's life shining, then death can't be there. So I want to thank you again for all your support here, because we have to maintain this building, but more importantly, to grow the center, grow the projects, expand them out there. Because like we said, it's your world. You're helping to support the spread of the Zohar in your world of 8 billion people, that it will be vital and bring you more light in return. And at the same time, unite people of like mind, that all the people who are building those worlds of pure beings will unite. And then when that critical mass, whatever that number is, that tilts the scale of 50-50 to even 50.1 to 49.9, the angel of death is finished. Then it's just sort of the downhill slide to the finish line. That's it. That's what we're doing. And that's why we take this time to bless the offering. So those of you who are here with us online, just meditate with us. Whatever's in your mind, those of you here, hold it in your hands, because it is a vessel. Money is not the physical thing. It's what we decide it is. And so we want to inject our love, our light, our blessing, our gratitude into this gift, appreciation for what the Creator's given us, gratitude to have access to this wisdom, to have true consciousness, the technology called Kabbalah, technology of the soul, which is the only thing that everybody has in common. The only thing. To appreciate what the Creator's given us, to have all the blessings in our life, to having had the strength to overcome all challenges, and to not only survive those challenges and even traumatic, difficult experiences, but to be able to thrive, to keep growing into our pure and perfect light beingness more and more every day. And so this offering is a way that we can speed up the process to remove the mud from our individual 8 billion people in our own world and expand that out to 8 billion united individual 8 billion people world. And we know it is simply the reward of spreading the light that is our reward. It is our blessing. And it's in the light removing the chaos. Makes our world better. And together we say, Amen. So also as we do, and those of you who have to go, I get it, but we're going to take a few minutes. Oh. So you see one of the 72 names of God. Those of you here in the room, if you look to your left, this is the entire chart of the 72 names of God, meaning 72 attributes. There's only one Creator, but as we said today, it's 8 billion names. These are the more powerful names. And this one that you're looking at is a combination of nanoparticles of the light. They are not Hebrew letters. They come out of the endless world. They're the DNA of our soul. And in this case, Mem, Yud, Hey is the power of unity. One, to unite each of us with the 8 billion parts of our life by taking away the mud, the veils and curtains that separate us, and ultimately to bring all of our individual worlds into full unity and peace. So just look at them. Let the shapes be engraved in your mind's eye. Mem, Yud, Hey. And then I'll ask you, sit comfortably in your chair, hands comfortably on your lap. Feet flat on the floor. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, hold the breath for a moment, exhale through the mouth. Creating a powerful circulation, not only of the physical air, but the light of the Creator that exists in every particle of light, of air. The light of the Creator, let it circulate, drawing it in through the nose. Let it cleanse all the darkness from head to toe. As you exhale, letting go of tension, stress, any thoughts of limitation. Breathe in the pure and perfect self, the certainty and the trust that the Creator has already implanted a piece of perfection, an amazing, truly superhuman being inside each of us and inside them. Allowing yourself to feel embraced, supported by the infinite light of the Creator. Now envision above your head, Mem, Yud, Hey. Allow the portals of light that combine together as Mem, Yud, Hey to receive from the upper worlds, ultimately from the endless world, a beam of light. See, feel how it vibrates as it's descending into this world, and through the Mem Yud Hey that you see light up, the brightest light you've ever seen, yet not overpowering. Now bring it through the top of your head and let it descend from head, enlightening all parts of your body and soul, to bring not only the microcosm of your own being, but also the macrocosm of your 8 billion person world be enlightened with this power, this vibration, Mem Yud Hey, to bring unity, peace, that everyone will see through the veils of falsehood, separation, and divisiveness, to clearly see we are all teammates. We are all fighting only one opponent, the angel of chaos, the angel of death. So let a beam of light shining out of your heart, your soul, extend to the heart and soul of every person in your 8 billion person world. See them light up. See the mud, the blockages be cleansed away, fall off of their being. See the true soul, the ethereal, shining light. And see your world completely lit up through these 8 billion parts of you. And in your mind's eye now, zoom out to see yet the bigger picture of the 8 billion worlds of 8 billion people. And see them, pure unity, love, peace, joy, serenity. And take note of that greater sense of warmth and love emanating from your heart. See how you have unblocked your heart from the hurt, the resentment, any discord between you and anyone else. Feel the flow of light, true unconditional love pouring out of you. And let it just keep pouring to the 8 billion and the 8 billion of 8 billion. Feel the tingling sensation, because you have a greater sense of the potential that's truly inside you, that which the Creator has given you already. And allow to awaken from the depth of your heart and the core of your soul. Trust, certainty in that perfection, that amazing being that the Creator created you to be. Commit yourself to stay focused only on that. That your desire strengthening every day to reveal your true perfection through greater actions every day. Love, kindness, generosity, humility, tolerance, forgiveness, compassion, and love. And together we'll take one more deep breath, anchoring and solidifying it in our heart, soul, and mind. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes. Those of you online from around the world, thank you for joining us. Have an amazing, amazing week. Look forward to seeing you next week. Please, if you have miracles, experiences, or question, Facebook Messenger me or email me. If you'd like to book or arrange a private session, we could talk one-on-one about your individual issues or what have you, how to apply Kabbalah. Do the same. Let me know that that's what you like and we can arrange that. And for those of you here, thank you for joining today. Also, just by the way, if you haven't seen it, you can go on Kabbalah.com. It is the new moon of Virgo. Very powerful month Kabbalistically. It's the month that we can cleanse all of our negativity. The universe will be pushing us to see our negativity so we can cleanse it in preparation for the day that humanity was brought into this world, the first day of Libra, which is cosmically the beginning of the new year, where we're setting a pattern for 1 year of our life. Don't let the opponent tell you it belongs to any one group, any group of people, any type of people. It's when Adam and Eve were created and put on this earth, we all come from them. So it's humanity's birthday. And if you study online, look up some of the classes on what's called Rosh Hashanah, so you understand more of the technology and the true spiritual essence of what it is. And then you can make a decision to join us here in Boca, or if you really want an exponential experience, which you have to sign up soon because I'm sure it's feeling fast, is the International Gathering in New York with Michael and Monica Berg in just about a month. All right? God bless. Have an amazing day, amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.